starting from the big picture, Joe, is where I want to start. I want to move out to the 5,000 foot frame. For those of us who are interested in building and scaling businesses inside the mortgage business, I'm going to go to the highest level we can start at and talk about, well, what do we have to get right to build a thriving, world-class, profitable business? Can we start at the very big picture and work backwards? What's the
Yes.
biggest frame the biggest correct frame to then work backward into building the business we want?
Man, good. Let's get into that. That'll be a lot of fun. So, you think about building a mortgage business and you think about the actual function of mortgages and, you've got your mortgage products, you've got your tech, you've got your marketing, closing, secondary. All of these are critical functions that the mortgage business has to operate well in order to be able to do mortgages, deliver a client experience they're proud of, and be able to deliver it at a price point that they're able to be profitable. Okay, so those are critical functions. When you look at any one of those functions, you'd say, man, there are so many areas there that we can focus on and start drilling deep in order to create better experiences, better processes, better products. And you can start to create an action item list of things to do to optimize that will make anyone's mind just kind of spin. It becomes quite overwhelming when you think about everything that you could do to optimize. What's our marketing plan look like? Are there any unique products that we need to have? Are we optimized in efficiency in our process so that our cost of originating the mortgage is competitive or better than the marketplace, which gives us then, of course, a pricing advantage where we can price similar to another and be more profitable, or when necessary, price at a lower level and either break even or be profitable. So all of these things you start to get into, and you in my experience in working with the CEO, C-suite, ownership of the company, it becomes quite overwhelming quite quickly because it's more than can be consumed in any reasonable amount of time and directed by your own attention and action. And so when you look at that and you're like, okay, I need to be able to clear the noise here and focus on the one thing that matters most, so I can get out of overwhelm, become really skilled at that thing, and begin to make daily 1% improvement, gain traction that compounds, over time. And man, that 1%, that one thing that matters most, and it's certainly true for mortgage. It doesn't matter what business you're in. It's true for AI right now. It's true. It was true when Apple was being built. It's true for Apple today. The number one thing that matters most is who. It is the people who you are in business with. Because if you think about it, if you bring in the right person who's running marketing, then marketing's going to be taken care of. And they're going to be able to do it efficiently and profitably. If you bring in the right people who are processing loans, who are underwriting, who are closing, they're going to do it efficiently. They're going to capture as much out of that business as possible. They're going to give a client experience to your originators and to your actual borrower client, something that creates repeat and referral business. If you bring in the right people in the C-suite, the CFO, they're going to know how to really optimize the management of the dollar without strangling the lifeblood out of the growth of the business. So when you really want to focus on the one thing, the one domino that matters most, it is who. Take this down to a team leader or branch manager, area manager. I like to call them team leader because you're not managing a branch, you're not managing an area, you're managing a team, managing people. So to me, team leader is the much more accurately descriptive of what the role is. When you think about a team leader, what do they have to do? Well, you have a handful of relationships that you need to have in order. You first of all, you are the hub that connects these other four relationships areas that you need to focus on. So one is just concentrating on you. Yes, man, when you think about building business by building people, you matter. If not matter most. Your business will grow in a large extent to the degree that you grow as a leader and as a person. So if you want to grow, man, you need to grow. And the more attractive you become, nothing to do with physicality, but the more attractive you become to these other parties that we're going to lay out, obviously, the more you're going to be able to better attract the right kinds of conversations and talent that you want to be in business with, that 1 in 100 talent. So for you have to attract first your capital investor. We call that the company. The company is obviously the products and capabilities that it provides. So, what kind of loans do you have? What's your pricing strategy? What is the investment strategy of that company? The investment thesis? How are decisions made around growth? And are we going to market and invest in individual agent relationships or brokerage relationships? Are we going to invest in marketing or business development in order to bring in builders and other referral partners? So you got to have a great capital investor, a great company that you're aligned with. And ideally, you are aligned with each other in how great business is built and how those investments are made. And we usually have a rule of thumb that we encourage people to think about. This is kind of like a higher level meta rule, Matt, which is two rules. We got to both make money and we got to build a business that we're proud of. Okay. So we're not going to do shady practices. We're not going to do the types of business practices that we're not proud of. We don't think work. We're going to do a business that we believe makes a contribution to the market and to the community that we're here to serve. Also, remember, as the capital investor, as the company, your core client, of course, is your originators, and the key alliance and strategic partners that bring business that you build. So you've got to do business in a way that you're proud of, and then of course you got to both make money, man. It's not okay for one person to make money and not the other. So as long as we have an investment strategy that we can follow those two rules, then I'm happy and ready to engage, be in business. So that's one area of focus. You got to get that first, okay? Once you have that, then you're looking at what is the fulfillment team. So this is who you think of when you're thinking about the team that you operate through and with. This is your processing and underwriting, your operations department. This is the person who's head of marketing, and running the marketing initiatives for the company and create marketing initiatives and opportunities for you. These are the people who close your loans and make sure they close on time, and everyone, the wire's there and everyone gets the warm and fuzzies. This is the actual fulfillment team of your business. When you bring in a loan, they're the ones that are doing the work to make sure that loan closes on time, and creates a great experience. So once you have those two, all right, and the reality is that there are a lot of really terrible companies at those two things, really terrible capital investors who are absolutely self-oriented, willing to lie, tell you anything you need to hear to put you in golden handcuffs, and now you're mine for the next 2 years. There's a lot of fulfillment teams out there that really don't believe in the degree of service that many originators believe, the standard of service that needs to be delivered in order to be competitive in the marketplace. So you do have to do your vetting and be judicious there. There are a lot of companies that do deliver on both of those fronts. I mean, we serve a number of clients, and one of the things before we get into business with them is we go through vetting to say, man, is this a team, the capital investor, the ownership structure, and the fulfillment team, is this a team that we're sure we're proud of, that someone's going to be able to come to, plug in, and really scale a great business? Once those two are in place, though, if you think about it from the team leader perspective, that job is largely done. That's not really your primary responsibility, is to manage capital, to manage products, to manage your fulfillment. That is the partnerships that you're building, and you are trusting other people to deliver on. And you have to be able to, man, because again, no one succeeds in this business alone. You have to be able to trust those two things are happening well. And then of course you trust, and then you have the evidence of it that it's being delivered well. So once those two things are in place, then you get to look at the above the line quadrants of what we call the revenue generating relationships. And this is really your core area of focus and responsibility. And so on one side are your alliance and strategic partners. So think real estate agents, I think, your brokerages, MSAs you're setting up, marketing agreements, builders, business to business referral partnerships. What are your strategic partnerships that you're building in order to create a steady flow of referrals? What I like to do, by the way, is focus with a company on, man, what would it look like if every fourth or fifth loan on a person's closing statement, on an LO's closing statement, at the end of the month was one that we helped drive and generate for that originator? I believe that's a value proposition, and I believe it, and we've now proven again and again that we can deliver on consistently. It's a great value proposition to recruit with, and it's really sticky once someone experiences it, because it's kind of like seeing free money come up on your paycheck. So you as a team leader, you are responsible to help your team grow and retain those alliance and strategic partnerships. Um, and by the way, in my experience, you keep steady at it and just keep going for more and more and more of higher quality and quantity. And at some point, you're going to hit jackpot, and you're going to hit those one or two relationships that just open up a whole new layer, a whole new level of business that would astound you. You meet the right person who's the gatekeeper to a flood of a whole new source of clients and business for your operation and for the team that you're recruiting. So that's a core asset that you need to focus on. You need to help your originators with it. Many team leaders we see, they're focused on so many other things in the function of doing mortgages that they forget about the building their business by building the key people. And so they miss that key area of becoming a master at helping lead generate and rainmake for their team. And that's a costly error on many levels. And as costly of an error as it is, when you fix it, it's as rich of a reward as you can imagine. And then finally, the fifth area that we're focusing on in relationships, we've got we've got capital investor, the company, we've got your fulfillment team that's actually delivering the operations, the function of delivering that mortgage, and then we've got your alliance and strategic partners that you're building. And then your fifth area of focus when you think about building your business by building people is your origination team that you're recruiting. And these are practitioners and master practitioners. And of course, they're your key client. I mean, they're the one for which you pick the right capital investor. They're the ones that you make sure you've got a great fulfillment team for. They're the ones that you're helping to support the things that matter most for them by helping them build more and better business, and their strategic and alliance partners. They're the ones that you are there to serve. And if you can bring in typically a handful, here's a little hack. Man, no matter how big you want to grow, if you can build a core team of 8 to 10 in that kind of 1 in 100 talent category. So maybe you have 25 total originators, but 8 to 10 that are really in that sweet spot of, man, I would take as many of this type of person as I could possibly be in business with. You build 8 to 10, really make them your leadership council, so to speak, of your team. And they will help driving growth and take care of the culture for the rest of your growth as big as you'd want to go. So to get even more granular there, man, can I focus on getting 10 world-class 1 in 100 talent revenue generating, profitable originators that are out there doing business in a way that we're proud of? Can I support them with strategic and alliance partnerships and really help them develop those so that every fourth or fifth loan that they're closing is business that I am helping to drive to them? Can I do my job in vetting up front to make sure there's a killer world-class fulfillment team and a capital investor that I'm proud of, that I believe we can grow with for the long haul, and that I can really trust and believe in when I'm calling these originators into the vision of what we're here to do? And then continue to grow myself. And if you take that approach, building business by building people, the rest of the business takes care of building itself, and you focus on that one thing.
Brilliant summary. I'll oversimplify just to restate. Man, the big picture is the most important question is who, and to get really focused on that, you've given us 5 really important categories of people that ultimately, to get a business that meets the criteria that I kind of opened with, that's genuinely thriving, profitable, a joy to manage and lead. It's going to be about the quality of relationships you have in those 5 categories you just shared. Your ability to develop those relationships is critical.